Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings to all distinguished audience. My name is Risa Rominta Simanjuntak, and I would like to present our research entitled An Analysis of Politeness Strategies in Sitcom Tetangga Masa Gitu Net TV. On behalf of my former student and colleague, Indah Nur Fatimah, I would like to present these research results. As the introduction, the research was anchored on fundamental aspects and concepts on politeness, that politeness strategies could be found in everyday communication, and the strategies covered 6 forms: bold on, positive politeness, negative politeness, off record, mitigating device, say nothing. All these 6 types of politeness strategies would be used in regards to the data in this research. Aside from that, we also would like to investigate whether there would be certain power, distance, and imposition factors as to lead to the selections of the strategies of politeness. And here are our research questions. We're going to look at the kinds of politeness strategies used by the characters in the conversation in the situational comedy, and we would like to identify the differences used by the characters in doing politeness strategies, and we would like to further investigate the factors influencing the use of these strategies, and especially because the characters are 2 married couples, we would also see whether there would be social implications in the strategies being used. Some previous research that we consulted in regards to analyzing the data and also see the similarities and differences in the findings were talking about the social impacts in politeness strategies. In this research, we come to know that using strategies in conversations were also influenced by the results of those sayings of utterances. So characters or people conversing would also thinking about what would the partners would say, or how would the partners reacted when they state a certain imposition or question or remarks. So the relationship between the utterer, the person who presented the first gesture, was also indicated or influenced by the thought that the partner of the conversation would react in a certain way. The second aspect in the previous research that we identified were that there was gender related issues in doing strategies, the strategies of conversations. In this case, we could see that there is a connection between the gender of the utterer and the politeness strategies he or she used. And finally, we also noticed that in previous studies, the cultural background, for example, the ethnicity and the upbringing of the persons conversing, were also related to how they choose the politeness strategies. In doing the research, we collected the data by, again, identifying what types of politeness we could see in the serials or in the episodes of the situational comedies. We then selected and observed the scenes by looking at the dialogues used by each of the characters in the situational comedies. We then transcribed the dialogues, and then identify, underline, or selected the utterances and the expressions used, indicating the politeness strategies. After collecting the data, we further analyze the data by identifying the strategies used explicitly or implicitly, and identified whether these certain expressions fall into the categories of politeness strategies, one of the 6 mentioned before. And then after that, we identify further whether these use of strategies were influenced by certain social cultural factors. And the results of our investigations show among the 4 characters, among the 2 couples, there were couples who married, who had longer marriage life, and there was one couple who were newlyweds, and that the strategies used were somehow a little bit different. In this excerpt, we see that there were 2 people conversing, and Bastian and Bintang were the newlyweds, and we could see that they used bolt-on and positive strategies. By using these strategies, they showed a close relationship, no barrier, no hindrance, and it was regarded as a friendly gesture more than formal gesture. In this occasion, in this scene, Bintang directly asked the person to prepare breakfast, and this showed the close relationship between the 2 persons. In the next excerpt, we see the couple who had longer marriage life, and again we could see the certain strategies being used. However, in this excerpt, we could also identify that in the politeness strategies, the tone and intonation of the words are somehow harsher than the newlyweds. Angel used bolt-on strategies using the word wake up, but in comparison to Bintang, her tone of voice is much different and less friendly than was shown by Bintang. In this excerpt, we could see a conversation between several people, including an officer in the complex of the neighborhood leader. And the neighborhood leader, his name is Susilo, and he was uttering the needs of participations from the people living in the same environment or in the same complex. And we could see directly that the person, Adi, showed negative response, and then that other people also used bolt-on and positive strategies. This indicates that among these people, they felt they had closer relationship with the community leader. On this table, we could see the different occurrences of politeness strategies, and we could see the utterances, the interlocution, and the types of politeness strategies used. As we can see in the table, politeness strategies that are mostly occurring or frequently used is positive politeness. Again, in this table, we could also see positive politeness being used. And in this table also. as well as in this table. We could also see in this table the mitigating devices, in which the person implores another person to help him acquiring something, and the mitigation devices showed different power and imposition factors being influenced. Another table showing positive politeness being used. And another interesting strategy of politeness used is by saying nothing. This couple, Adi and Angel, were married longer time compared to Bintang, and compared to the newlyweds usually say a lot of flowery words, but this couple who had longer marriage life tend to use non-verbal communication device, like looking each other in the eyes, or giving different facial expressions but saying nothing. Quite interesting. Again, in this table, this is the compilation of all the data, and positive politeness shown to be used 69 times, and in the second position, both on record. In terms of factors influencing the use of politeness strategies, our data show that the social dimensions of power, distance, and imposition were actually influencing the choice of politeness strategies. For example, in this caption, the scene shows the communication between Angel and Bintang, and the factors involved in asking for taking care of Adi, Angel's husband, shown to be influenced by low power between Angel and Bintang, her neighbor, and that there is a close distance between the two of them. As neighbor, Angel considered Bintang as her younger brother, and that there is a high imposition of taking care for someone who is ill. And as a result, Bintang said okay, or willing to take care of Adi. In conclusion, the results and discussions have shown that there are various politeness strategies used by the characters, and all 6 strategies are used by the characters. There are differences of politeness strategies used, and the most frequently used strategy is positive politeness. Meanwhile, the least frequently used strategy is mitigating device. And the factors influencing these strategies are power, distance, and imposition. Here are the list of the references. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.